What is up, YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of the Ultra Kalos Classic. Now, yes, there's probably going to be a bit of echo. Not much I can really do about it because of the fact that I'm pretty late in recording this. I think there are only about 3 more hours. I do have to record probably 3 more episodes, so about an hour and a half. And currently I cannot use the normal place where I record, so I will be, trying to at least finish the series, even though the audio and obviously the light situation isn't that great. Hopefully it can make do. So let's aim for, I don't know how I want to finish this tournament. I do want to maybe try for this mid 1600s, so let's see if I can get it. As I think this team is solid enough to at least get to this mid 1600s, and if I decide to play the actual tournament, I think I could actually maybe make it to the 1700s depending on the situation. But hopefully we can find some games because it is the last 3 hours. Hopefully people are still playing, but we'll find out, I guess, once we find a game. So I think we're just gonna cut it here till we can find a game. I'll be right back with the first game of today's episode. Alright, we got Geo from New York, 1601 rating. Let's see what the team is. Salamence, Scizor, Snorlax, Talonflame, Greninja, and Dragonite. Now, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that I don't really have a Snorlax answer. That is 100% true. I don't have a Snorlax answer. So this is going to be interesting because I'm not exactly too sure of how this is going to work. We're going to try to make it through though. I think Aegislash combined with Gliscor can do really solid against my opponent's team overall. So I think I'm gonna go Aegislash. I think Aegislash, Gliscor, and either a combination of Zapdos or Greninja, because Greninja can revenge KO the Salamence pretty easily, which is what I'm thinking. But Zapdos is good for the Scizor and the Greninja, but it might be Mega Scizor, and Salamence is pretty good against my team, so I could see Salamence being brought here. You know what? And Scizor's not that really that great against my team with Charizard, Zapdos, all that. So maybe opponents just don't opt for Scizor against my team. I don't think I've really faced a Scizor too much in this tournament. But let's see how this is going to work. I'm going to try to see if I can get myself into a good position. Talonflame is going to be a bit annoying to switch into. That is a factor. I probably have to rely on its own recoil. And if it has Roost, I probably have to get in Gliscor and click Earthquake. Otherwise, let's get Aegislash in and see what my opponent decides to opt for. It's going to be the Greninja lead. Okay. So I don't know if spikes are going to go up, which could be bad for my own Greninja, but there's not much I can do. This is my best switch-in, really. I think getting a Toxic off is my turn 1 play. We'll find out what my opponent decides to do here. But I will just go for the Toxic right here, because I don't want a King Shield give my opponent any free momentum, as we are going to see that Dark Pulse, and that's going to hurt quite a bit here. So how much is it going to do? Not really that too much damage actually, but we do flinch, which is really annoying because I would have loved to get the Toxic off early, and I just took basically free damage, which is not ideal. I'll go for King Shield here. I don't know if this thing has Taunt though. If it does have Taunt, I guess that could be an issue. But I think it might have went for a turn 1 if that was the case. We are going to see that once again. That Dark Pulse. And a little bit frustrating, but not too bad, I guess. I will go for a Toxic once again. That's annoying because this thing would have taken like 2 turns to Toxic already. Dark Pulse is going to come out once again. Does a lot. We land a Toxic, which is good. Again, Greninja is just such a scary threat to any single team in this challenge. So, gonna get a Toxic off. And we are going to heal a little bit, but this is still not looking too good. That flinch was really huge early on because basically 3 turns of Toxic could have been happening. That Greninja could have been around 50%, I think, or 60, I think, actually. But yeah, I'm just going to draw off a King Shield here again. And this is the way I have to play against this Greninja. I don't really have many options against this Greninja. And then I think I'm going to go hard Gliscor after. I hope you don't Ice Beam here, but I don't see a reason not to just draw off a Dark Pulse if you're my opponent. I don't think you want to allow me to get any momentum off. So I'll go into Gliscor here. But yeah, at least I am able to activate my Toxicor. But having Aegislash weakened is pretty bad for my situation, as Dark Pulse is going to fire off into the Gliscor. That does a really solid amount. Of course, I'm not really especially defensive Gliscor as usual. but get my Toxic Orb back. I can go for Protect here. Feels weird having Protect and King Shield on a singles team. But yeah, I'll just Protect here, stall a bit of the Toxic from the Greninja, get a bit of recovery. And then the next question is, do I want to predict my opponent maybe going for Ice Beam the following turn? But we're going to see Greninja switch out, which is interesting. Snorlax is going to come in. Huh. Well, there's a monster that I can't really stop. There's a monster I really can't stop. I don't know if you're going to set up right away. I think I'm going to substitute just to scout what you're going to go for. If you try to set up, I get 2 turns of maybe guillotine pressure onto my opponent. So let's see what it's going to go for. Going to be that Ice Punch. Okay, good thing I scouted for that. So I could go hard Aegislash, but I really just want to go for the Protect again. Or I could go for Sub if I do expect the Snorlax to attack here. But I will just Protect here and scout what my opponent's going to do. If you keep going for Ice Punch, I don't know if you're conditioning me to stay in with Gliscor. Because I don't know if you're like expecting maybe the double into my Aegislash here. I wonder if it's Scarf Greninja, because that Pokemon probably could have just went for an Ice Beam right there. But maybe my opponent just doesn't want to take these extra turns. So we'll Protect with Gliscor here, as an Ice Punch will come out once again. Now, you could expect me to go into Aegislash and go for Earthquake. And if you're like a Choice Banded Lax, I don't know if they run that really. But you could go for like Earthquake, or you could double out. So I'm going to sub again and see what the Snorlax really wants to do, as I will go for the sub again. And see what my opponent really wants to do here. Just keeps going for the Ice Punch. Okay. That's fine. That is fine. So I think I'll get an Aegislash and try to Toxic this Snorlax. This is the way I'm probably going to be able to beat my opponent's team, because I really don't see a way out otherwise. So I will Protect here. You could double out into the Greninja, but then I can just Protect again. We are actually going to see Snorlax withdraw here, and Greninja is going to come out. And I guess we get to find out what my opponent's going to go for. If it is Scarf Greninja, because that's the only reason I really see why my opponent stayed in or switched out, I think I'm in a decent position, because I don't see a reason not to draw off an Ice Beam originally. So I'm just going to Protect here and scout. Like, if this is Scarf Greninja, what does it want to lock itself into? It might have U-turn, potentially. So I will Protect here, as an Ice Beam does come out. And I think I do want to go out into my Aegislash right here. The problem is, if I lose Aegislash, I'm in a really bad position against the Snorlax, unless I hit a Guillotine, which again is already rare. So I will go out in Aegislash. I can't risk my Gliscor. I wish I had a different switch in. But yeah, let's go Aegislash here on the Ice Beam, so that's nice. And that does a decent amount. I will live another one. King Shield is really obvious, and King Shield into, like, I really want to fire for Toxic. I really want to fire for Toxic, because it could really be easily Scarf Greninja. Actually, I don't see a reason to King Shield. I think I can sack my Aegislash here, as it does switch out. So I could have got Toxic off. Dragonite going to come out. Not too big of a deal. I'll go for King Shield right here. I don't want this Dragonite to set up on me. At the same time, what can I really do? Huh. I could go hard Greninja, but I don't think that's ever my play. I think I'm forced to either go Gliscor on an Earthquake anticipation or go for the Toxic. And I think my most reliable way to get rid of this Dragonite is to go for Toxic here. As Dryness is going to come out, as long as it's not a Lumberry set on Dragonite, I feel really good. Because all I have to do is sack one of my Pokemon and get in my Gliscor. So we'll go for the King Shield here. I mean the Toxic here. And you're probably either Fire Punch or Earthquake. That's what I would assume. We got Toxic off in this Dragonite, which is really good. We're playing a really slow defensive game, but that's how I have to play against this team. I'll go into Gliscor because if it is Earthquake, I get to be immune to it. And it also could be a Dragon Dance here, and I don't really want to give my opponent a free Dragon Dance. So I'll just go Gliscor here. And yeah, even if you Dragon Dance again, you might be going for Z move the following turn. And I could Protect. And then we could find out what this Dragonite's locked into. If it locks itself into Outrage, I feel okay about my position. But I'd have to sack probably 1.5 Mons, so... We will Protect here. Oh wait, it can't be Z-move Dragonite. Right! Right, it has to lock itself into Outrage. Yeah, Outrage. Okay. I think I have to... I think I have to sack Gliscor if anything. I think I need Aegislash around. Which is unfortunate. I could also go my Greninja here potentially. Actually, I think my play is to go hard Greninja. I should have went hard Greninja on the Dragon Dance. On the second Dragon Dance, because if I knew that Dragon Dance was coming, but I was really worried about Earthquake. I will go Greninja here. As the Outrage is going to come out. And we will have a Sash, so we are going to survive that. It looks like no Salamence or Scizor, so there was no Mega Evolution I had to worry about. The Poison's doing a lot of work. I think if I get a Water Shuriken off, I'm actually in a very good spot here. So we'll go for Water Shuriken right here. Onto the Dragonite. And hopefully it puts it in range of the Toxic. That's what I'm aiming for right here. We get 3. Okay, I'm hoping that the Poison's enough. Or if the Dragonite stays in, that would be really nice. So Greninja will be sacked here, which I had to. Please be enough. Yes, okay, sweet. The Dragonite goes down, which is excellent for me. I get to go... What's the best play? I think I could go... Aegislash here? I think it's Banded Lax, because why would you be locking yourself in an Ice Punch all the time if it wasn't Banded Lax? Because I could see Greninja coming out. And if it's Snorlax, I'm still fine with that. Okay, Greninja does come out. Again, it's really weakened. So I can go for the King Shield here. Pretty safely. I can go for the King Shield, figure out what this Greninja wants to lock itself into. Unless my opponent was bluffing Scarf this entire time, but at this point I'm not too sure. Were you bluffing Scarf this entire time? Because right now you've been playing it like Scarf. If you've been bluffing and conditioning me to believe it's Scarf, brilliant on your part. But we'll see here. No King Shield here. And Greninja goes for Dark Pulse. Okay, I go double out into my Gliscor. Yeah, okay. 2 turns this Greninja has. Dark Pulse is not going to 2 KO my Gliscor, especially since I'm getting recovery as well. I could... I do need a Toxic off. If I get one Toxic in the Snorlax and it's not Rest, I win the game. Dark Pulse comes out. Yeah, it doesn't really do too much. I think I could sub here very safely. Yeah, I'm going to sub here in case Greninja withdraws. But even if it doesn't withdraw, like, it doesn't really matter too much. Snorlax is going to come out, which is alright. I will be able to sub here. And now I can Protect. Yeah, I can Protect and then go for a Guillotine attempt. Or I could go for the Earthquake just for damage, but, you know, might as well go for the Guillotine if I have it, right? Also, I have no idea what this Snorlax is, if it's banded or not, so we'll figure it out here. We'll go for Protect. See what the Snorlax locks itself into. Gonna be that Ice Punch again. And I feel like you don't run Ice Punch unless you are banded. So I guess I could go for Earthquake, but I don't feel like the damage would be enough. I'm going to attempt a Guillotine here, because I don't see a reason not to try and go for a Guillotine. Misses, which isn't too bad. Ice Punch going to come out. And yeah, Greninja's basically useless since both my Pokemon carry Protect. I feel pretty good about my position. Yeah, I feel pretty good about my position. So I think I'm going to actually, even though I could get a bit of Toxic Heal recovery, I think if my opponent goes for anything, you go for Ice Punch here. I'm going to get my Aegislash in and try to Toxic the Snorlax. Unless it's Immunity Snorlax, because I think that's the... I don't think it's the only way I lose to Snorlax. If it's immunity Snorlax, I could, like, it makes it really difficult, but I feel like even if I could still win with my Gliscor, I really can't tell if that's a bandit or not. I really can't. I mean, I would imagine Thick Fat, or if it's a berry set, it would be probably one of the 50% berries with Gluttony. Those are the two normal abilities, but I can't tell if it would be immunity. It's not immunity, so that should actually be the game. So nice. Get Toxic off into Snorlax. And we're going to see the Ice Punch. Oh, it's banded. It is banded. Okay, sweet. Now, it is banded Snorlax. Okay. Any other Snorlax I think would have just completely destroyed me. Actually, this is, that Snorlax was a lot easier to handle, I think. Well, then again, I don't have knockoff. Lay Toxic Stall was my only way to beat the Snorlax or get a Guillotine off. So I had to go for those win conditions. I can sub here on, I think... I mean, it doesn't matter if I sub. I could go for King Shield, actually, too. I might as well get a sub up because it's pretty free for against my opponent. As we'll see what my opponent decides to do. Basically, I just win by stalling out my opponent right here. Ice Punch going to come out. That's not going to break my sub. And I keep getting the leftovers recovery. It gets a crit, and that doesn't break my sub, which is great. So I can King Shield here. Greninja comes in. I can King Shield again, and 2 turns of poison should be able to knock out Greninja at that range. So even though this was probably pretty uphill for me, I think I was able to pull through. I think the reads, well, I think the Water Shuriken was clutch. If I hit 2 times, I probably would have. I could have lost. Well, it depends on like one, if the Dragonite does the Dragonite have enough HP to survive that, and 2, if it's locked in. Well, if it's locked in, I could just protect there, but then I can't protect Scout against the Greninja coming in, so I have to predict the 50-50 of whether my opponent would go for Ice Beam and Dark Pulse. So we'll see what my opponent does. I don't think there's a way out at this point if you are Bandit Snorlax, and at this point, like, I can't figure out, are you Bandit Snorlax, are you not? I think you should be banded, or is Ice Punch your only move to attack? Which would be really weird because usually you would run a ground type move for coverage over Ice Punch. The King Shield. And let's see what the Snorlax does. Really long game, by the way. I feel like I'm playing the core of, I'm either playing well, this is kind of what I'm bringing, a bit of a stall matchup here with Greninja. But it feels like I'm playing stall in OU. Oh geez, imagine if I played that in game. I mean, it really doesn't matter at this point. I'll go for a double King Shield here because there's like a Toxic, Sub, or Shadow Ball doesn't benefit me at all. So Ice Punch coming out once again. I should break my sub, I think. Yeah. I almost have enough HP for another one. No, I get it this turn. I'll just King Shield again, because if you stay in, doesn't matter. Actually, I think I should sub here, if anything. Yeah, I should sub here. Because Snorlax can reset its attack. But I don't think it can beat my Gliscor at this point. As yeah, you're going to make the withdrawal on Snorlax here. I think it's your only out? Question mark. So, Greninja comes in. I get to sub again, and that's going to be game. Because I can King Shield on this Greninja, and then just stall out the Snorlax at that point. Yeah, since 2 turns will knock it out. Even if Greninja switches out, we're playing that game again. I can always King Shield again. I think I'll soon... I don't know if I'll have enough recovery for another sub. Yeah, you're going to make the Greninja switch into Snorlax. At this point, Gliscor wins too. I mean, Gliscor literally gets to click Protect or Earthquake against my opponent anyway. Even if I lose Aegislash. So I'll go for King Shield right here. And see what my opponent wants to lock itself into. Probably Fire Punch, okay. Fire Punch. I wonder if that will break my sub at -2. Well, it doesn't matter at this point. I literally win the game anyway. Gonna sub again, I guess. It really doesn't matter at this point. I guess I could have went for a double King Shield again, too. Yeah, I think double King Shield was the play. It really doesn't matter at this point. I'm just playing around till I see the Snorlax faint. It does break my substitute, actually. Okay. And don't show me rest on the Snorlax. But yeah, I can just sub up here. As the match is going to be forfeit, we do take a really long win there. Alright, so Aegislash plus Gliscor. These Pokemon are so stupidly strong. These Pokemon are just so stupidly strong. If you get them into a position where they can just set up a substitute, then they get a lot of things. Like Aegislash can sub-stall, King Shield stall. So, and Gliscor can sub Guillotine, Protect, get the recovery off. Like, these Pokemon are actually so strong. It's actually ridiculous. I get why Aegislash was banned immediately. Like, I didn't know why Aegislash was too strong in OU until I realized the Toxic set, until I played my Toxic set for the first time in doubles, and I'm like, wow, even in doubles this thing is dumb. Also, the offense it has is really nice. As we got Lunark from Italy, 1569 rated player as our second opponent. Gliscor, Salamence, Magnetric, Conkeldurr. Oh, the Conkeldurr is an annoying issue. Cloyster and Ferrothorn. Okay, this matchup's hard. This matchup's hard. I do have HP Ice on my I do have HP Ice on my Charizard, which is really good in this matchup. I think I need Greninja for sure. I definitely need Greninja because of the fact that I do need Greninja to knock out the Gliscor as well as the Salamence. Magnetric. Here's the thing. I think I need Greninja. This is going to be a tough matchup. I mean, I really actually don't like Aegislash. It's just good against Conkeldurr. I think I'm going to go Greninja as the lead with Gliscor and Charizard on the back. We'll see how this goes. The reason I want to make this lead right away is because of the fact that I scare out a Gliscor if it wants to come out. I'm just really worried about my Conkeldurr matchup. It depends on the item on Conkeldurr specifically. I wish I had Fire Blast because the damage would be nice, as Cloyster's going to reveal itself. I wonder if this is a Spikes lead or if it's Scarf potentially. Well, I don't have a good switch into this Pokemon anyway. I'm going to go for Dark Pulse here. I can't let this thing set up, for sure. I just can't let this thing set up. Dark Pulse. And Shell Smash. Okay. So I do have Water Shuriken for a reason, and Water Shuriken should be able to knock out the Gliscor, so this works out in my favor. I'm really glad my opponent didn't go for Rock Blast turn 1, or Icicle Spear. But this works. Even if you have Ice Shard, I do have a Sash, and even then, like, why would you waste your time Shell Smashing at that point? As we will get a Water Shuriken off. I'm surprised my opponent risked that, because I could have been Scarf as well. And Scarf would have still screwed. Actually, does Cloyster outspeed Scarf Greninja +2? I don't think it does, but who knows. I do knock out the Cloyster for basically free. That's a huge threat to my Gliscor out of the way. I'll definitely take that. Magnetric going to come out, so there's no Salamence on deck. But I don't know what that last Pokemon is, so I still got to be cautious. I think you're definitely going to Volt Switch here. I don't think you HP Ice immediately. So I'm going to go Gliscor here and try to activate my Toxic Orb. This Magnetric's a huge threat though. It is going to get intimidated off in my Gliscor too, which isn't ideal. I think I need an Earthquake just for damage. Yeah, Thunderbolt. Or Thunderbolt, yeah. Oh yeah, because I wasn't Water type. Toxic Orb activates. I think your last Pokemon would be Conkeldurr. I think I'm just going to Protect. Scout for the HP Ice. I don't think HP Ice knocks me out for sure, but I just want to see. Yeah, Hidden Power Ice. So I might as well just go for an Earthquake here and try to get as much damage on the Manectric to put it in range of a Water Shuriken. Can Empower? Actually, I think Gliscor could still be useful. Wait, that knocks me out? I did not expect that to knock me out. Okay. It's a little bit troublesome. I'm gonna go Greninja here. Oh, that's really bad. Go Greninja here, fire off an Ice Beam. Hope Ice Beam and a Water Shuriken can knock out the Manectric at this point. Thunderbolt gonna come out, so it's not a Volt Switch, thankfully. Reveal my Sash. No Para, which is good. Ice Beam will come out. Let's see, because I really need this to put in Water Shuriken range. Oh, that does not. I think I need 5 hits. I guess Gliscor wasn't the call. I thought it'd be a good switch into Manectric, but maybe Zapdos was the call then. Maybe Zapdos was better. I thought Gliscor would live 1. Okay, maybe only 4. I only get 2 now. But he Volt Switches, which gives me a shot depending on that Pokemon in the back. This really comes down to what he has in the back. And what its set is. Should be Conkeldurr, if anything, I think. Yeah, Conkeldurr. I need a... I think I lose. I think any Conkeldurr should at least run Thunder Punch. It should at least run Thunder Punch if it doesn't run a Rock move already. I guess I can go for Flamethrower, hope that's not Guts, maybe get a Burn, and then put it in range into a Flame Charge. That's asking a lot though, and I have no idea, but this Conkeldurr is probably just going to finish me off. We will Mega Evolve with our Charizard. Go for the Flamethrower. I wonder if Fire Blast would have actually done enough. Or we hope for a Rock move miss, which could possibly be, you know, a thing. Knock off. He's giving me a shot at this point. Alright, Flame Charge up. Okay. Ice Punch. He doesn't have an Electric type move. Wait. Is Charizard gonna come to regain the Flame Charge? Sweet. Mach Punch gonna come out. That's not enough. Let's go, Charizard. Oh, Charizard, I love you. I love you, Charizard. Okay, we get the knockout on Conkeldurr, and now with the Flame Charge, we actually am able to outspeed the Manectric. So I got really lucky on whatever this Conkeldurr set was. Let's see. Luckily, they don't run Rock-type moves, it looks like. Alright. Then again, it makes sense. The entire move of the arsenal. Drain Punch, Ice Punch, well, whatever the fine type move is. We saw Mach Punch. I'm pretty sure it has either Drain Punch or Hammer Arm. Oh, man, Charizard, I love you. Charizard, you did some work. You did some work. Okay, so we're going to have 2 wins for today's episode of the Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon's Ultra Kalos Classic. If you did like this video, please leave a like down below. Shows your support, as well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as my social medias, the side tiers on the channel, more battling action in singles and VGC if you are interested. And of course, feel free to leave a comment down below as I do read them. Otherwise, have a great day, people, and until we battle again, I'll catch you all later.